the definition of real rapping. And I ain't talking about the booth, I mean the brown package. Cause you're off with the man that's full of burning rage. I'll make the younger be the star, no burning.
Yo, it's your boy HUN Tizzy, and this is the Golden Era UK Rap Podcast. And we're back again. Like I say every time, episode 4 and all of them things there. Can I get a round of applause? Yeah, man, we're back again. It's series 2. We're doing things, you know, we're on 4 now. So, like I say, every time that we're in front of the camera and we're here with each other, it's the golden era because I started rapping 204. Also, 204 was when Channel U started, yeah? 205 was when YouTube started. Yeah. Before that, Bluetooth, LimeWire, DVDs. That's the only time you got to see a man's face, you know, to know the people that you're listening to. That's the reason why I started this podcast, you know what I'm saying? So like, as you can see from before and where we are now, so I feel like it's only right that I draw for certain people, you know what I'm saying? Like of a caliber that was there, the foundation bricks, the beginning. Without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
It's Nova Flip, formerly Super Nova. Mud Family member,
Okay.
FLIP. Yeah, man, I just wanted to say I like what you're doing here, man. I love the platform and the era that you've chosen to speak about. But for me personally, I was gonna say, like, when you talk about golden era of UK rap, yeah. I kind of come from a bit of an era slightly before it.
That's what I'm saying.
What's like where it was called UK hip hop. Like to me, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Even grime and all that. I treat it all the same. But I think like fans started putting things into pockets there.
Yeah.
And there was like a UK hip hop scene that was about before, and I kind of came up towards the end of that. And what they call them fans of mine and that movement, they watch it and they call the golden era of UK hip hop. Like the late 90s to the early 2000s. And then this golden era of UK rap, what you're talking about, which to me is the most important.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? To me, and I feel like I kind of managed to sit in both of them a little bit. But I come
tail end.
And then into that, but I come from more the other one. You know what I'm saying? And I think people would know me more from that. But to me, the UK rap thing and the YouTube era and the Channel U era is what, you know, that's what's really led us to where we're at today.
What the other one is.
Well, like. So the other scene of UK hip hop, and I mean it goes back way before I was around as well, because some people, there's other fans who would say, oh, the golden era was in the 80s or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But there was a UK hip hop scene with people like Rodney P, London Posse, Black Twang, MCD, and SKINNYMAN, Mud Family, what I became a part of, right? And that was about before I was in it, and it's we could do a whole podcast on this, and I think I am going to do one day on where I feel the divide went a bit funny. And another rapper, Ty, R.I.P., who passed away recently, but because me and him spoke a lot about, there was like a racial divide that kind of came in that UK hip hop scene, and we was talking a lot about it becoming quite whitewashed.
Okay.
And it's like the white rappers, and even me myself, SKINNYMAN, Task Force, and that. We became very popular in that scene. I wasn't really seeing it at the time, and I kind of saw.
So what years was this? Like,
well, them man put out records from like '97. I joined around '99, 2000. My first record came out 2001, and before that, when I first came around, it wasn't like that. It was very.
You know what? Cuz actually, stop there now.
Yeah.
Before we even get to that, I wanna. Yeah, because I want it to flow.
Yeah.
So, you know what we're going to do now? Normally, we just heard you said you're Nova Flip, formerly known as...
Super Nova.
Okay. So, how many people have probably listened to you through your journey of music, and don't know the reason, the meaning behind your name?
Yeah, probably
I reckon you should tell them that.
So, you know what it is? Like, first it was just Nova, and it was just like school, early secondary school. Man's not even rapping yet. Man's like looking for a tag and all of that, like getting into graffiti and that. And I think it wasn't really a reason why I came out. Man might have pulled it out of the dictionary. I don't know. I just pulled up a word, Nova. Someone told me it means one at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then whatever. That was just. It became like a tag, a name, and then I think it was Big Ben who just started calling me Supernova. Like he just put that piece together. Yeah. Okay. And I was like, all right, cool, Supernova. So I ran with that. When I started putting records out, I ran with that. And even when I used to do interviews, I had no reason. People would ask me, and I would kind of tell that story I just told. And one time I'm doing an interview for like maybe a magazine or something. Me and SKINNYMAN are doing an interview together, and I told that little story, and then Skinny kind of cut me off and told the story for me, and he was like, "Nah, he's called Supernova because he's kind of quiet." Yeah, it's like he's kind of because he's kind of quiet and like he's humble and you know keeps to himself, like in life day to day. But when he gets on that stage. You know what I'm saying? Like it explodes because like a supernova is a star that's quiet.
Exactly.
So he gave me that meaning, and again, it was so like true to my personality. So
because that's what I think of when the word nova. I think ain't that one of them stars that fly across the. You know what I'm saying? Like astrology or whatever it's called. You know them ones. So that's what I initially. You know, like without asking someone, you just think, oh yeah, that's his name because that man is into fireworks. Or you know
but that's why
you know what I'm saying.
But that's why I kind of changed it afterwards. I was like, you know what? I've been in this thing so many years. I don't even like this supernova name. I'm known as it, but people call me Nova. That's like my name. No one even calls me my government. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I'm just gonna change it just to be Nova. And even I put out an album under Nova, but then I was kind of like, I put the flip on there because that's like the movement or whatever, and it's like, you know, like your hunt situation or like sometimes we put the extra bit on just in case there's someone else, some other Nova.
Some other hunt. In most cases, it's a tiger though, or a lion or something. You know, when you used to type in hunt, you get all little wildlife and all that, and then me and then the other hunt or whatever. But
same supernova, you're probably gonna get some mad star stuff and all that. So I spelt it really weird as well. I spelt it weird just for that, so people could Google me and that. But that's part of what I didn't like as well. But you know, it's what it is.
Is what it is, isn't it? Cuz. So what would you say? In them early days, what would you say your influences were?
So, in the early days, like, I think, I was saying like, we were saying before, that people, unless man, like...
And what years, you know, like, you know, when you first...
If I go back to first getting into music, it's like, I don't know, what year would it be when man was leaving primary school? That's like, I don't even know what year, you know what I'm saying?
Year 5, year 6.
Year 5, year 6 of primary school, but I'm trying to think the actual, like, what year of it would have been. I know I finished secondary school in 99. But anyway, I'm saying, like, me, Big Ben, Reg Sweet Jones, Big J, UK Overstood, and then Nassar, Mud Family is a bit older than us.
Yeah, I know Nassar.
Like, yeah.
Big up Nassar, man.
So, like, he's kind of a reason how I got into Mud Family as well. But, like, and probably some others, like a lot of us, we go back to the playground, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like primary school. And I think the first time I heard, I always call it out as Snoop as being the first time I like started hearing rap. And I feel like that's like our era.
Yeah.
There was a time before that, man was listening to jungle tapes before that, yeah. Not that I was ever a junglist and that, but man was listening to jungle tapes. And that's probably some of the first rapping I heard as well, just man spitting on jungle. Yeah. And man used to go to Grafton Street Market and buy the little bootleg.
Who was your favourite? Who was you?
I don't even remember. But I just know.
I was a junglist. I'm not gonna lie.
I weren't. You know what I'm saying, but I'm saying there was a time where, like, you know, like the in thing, whatever the in thing is
Stevie
for your
Hyper
thing.
D, Skipper D, Shabba.
Yeah, of course.
MC Det and all them.
Later on, I got to know all of that properly, but like, it was just like jungle was the thing that was cool. So if you listen to jungle, you're cool or whatever, and you're in primary school, everyone listens to jungle, and then it became a moment where like Doggy Style come out and it's like everyone listened to Snoop. It wasn't even like everyone listened to, this is just my experience of it. It was just like everyone listened to Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone.
And it weren't like listening to rap, it was just listening to Snoop. And then, so that was my first influence of hearing rap music. And we was in primary and I remember, I'll tell a little story, just that I remember being in primary school. Regs always tells the story as if it was him. I always remember it like it was me, you know what I'm saying? But maybe it happened to both of us. But you know, like when you're primary school and you got they got the cassette tape player to play the story tape, and they got two headphones like this, both plugged in and that, and you can sit and you got the book and you hear the storybook. So man was like, I had the cassette tape of the Chronic, actually, not even Doggy Style. I went back and got the Chronic Dr. Dre album. And man's just like playing the tape and pretending, but the teacher can tell he's like ain't really reading that thing. And like the teacher's gone over and took the headphones. It's like bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. And like we're like 9 years old. So
you get in trouble, fam.
That's going all the way back as far as influence. And then a little after that, maybe starting secondary school, it was Wu-Tang. And man just wanted to hear. Like, man was just hearing Wu-Tang, and like that's what made man want to actually rap. And, and like on this question, like, I was gonna say this on the other bit, but it's relevant. Like, I feel like a lot of people a lot of people feel like it's cool to say there's no influences from the UK and all of that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I didn't have them at that point. But quite soon after that, I heard Mud Family before I was a member of it. So I heard SKINNYMAN, Chester P, Mongo. And that's like the first UK rap I heard, and it changed.
How many members was in the Mud Fam?
So there was 3 members at that time. I think originally it was just Skinny and Mongo. And then Chester P joined, and then they made
this was
2
based
EPs.
in, because we haven't even said your area. You know, like we haven't said where this music is coming from.
So this is it's in Islington.
Okay.
I guess Camden as well. Them man were kind of and myself kind of associated with Camden. A lot of people think I'm from Camden. Like even Charlie Slough used to play man's song and go, yeah, from my neck of the woods, Camden. And I'll be like, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, he had that song in it. He had that song Camden Lock in it.
Yeah,
back in the
exactly.
Days, innit? So.
I'm saying because that's where he's from. But I'm more from Islington. But I guess Islington, Camden, same.
Camden's where the hip hop was the home of the hip hop.
Yeah, Camden. Well, yeah, Camden was the
like
home of a hip hop.
Like Jump Off and them places were kind of like.
Well, Kung Fu was going on there, and just in the street and the shops and 4-Star General and 555 Soul and all of these kind of clothing shops and kind of hip hop. You got in and get mixtapes and stuff like that back then. But yeah, this was coming out of Islington, and for me it was like I'd heard them jungle things, but I hadn't really made the connection with that. I hadn't thought about someone rapping in a British accent, rapping about things where I'm from. And I'm hearing them rap about Camden and Camden Lock and, you know, Finsbury Park and all of that. And I'm like, yo, this is where I'm from. So I kind of changed my rap style to probably trying to be a bit American when I'm like 10, 11 years old or whatever. And then a couple years later, I'm now trying to rap like them, which is really just me trying to rap like myself because this is where I'm from.
Yeah, we start off with the American.
And then so that was my influence. And also then I heard Black Twang, Rodney P, people I've mentioned already. And then within a year I ended up like connecting up. That's a whole long story, but within a year I ended up like going from being influenced by and really loving what them man are doing to being a member of the group. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, but yeah, the influence question is interesting because I see a Joe Black interview, yeah? And Joe Black and Benny Banks and them man from Islington, I love what they've done for Islington. But man talk a lot about like put my borough on the map, which 100% is facts. I'm saying they've done it. But
there was people before.
There's people before. And it's like sometimes they'll be saying it in an interview, there's no people before. But then later in the same interview, like Joe Black's got an interview with Clue on not for the radio, the platform, YouTube platform. Whatever. He's got an interview and they're asking him about early rap when he started, and he's like, yeah, there weren't really no one rapping. But then he's like, oh, there was people rapping, and he goes like Jest and Mud Family. Yeah, so he's acknowledged that group, and then he goes, but it weren't really for the streets. But then later on, he mentions SKINNYMAN and talks about him as if he is. So it's like there's a bit of a disconnect. I don't know if he meant Task Force when he said that, to be honest, but there's a bit of a disconnect where it's like both things are true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe man don't quite know the impact of what was done before because it wasn't on YouTube. It wasn't on TV,
because it wasn't like televised. It wasn't for us
yeah.
to see, but we did. Well, me personally, I did know about it because I knew about the tunes. I was listening to it. Yeah. Like even down to yesterday, one of my I call them youngers, but they're not youngers. They're like 6 years younger than me or something. He's hollered at me, sent me a video, a snippet of Kalashnikov, you know, his song Murder. And in it, he says, Stokey, da da da. He said, obviously, where we're from. This guy sent me the thing saying, Hunt, who's this? Almost like, who's this guy saying that he's from our ends and I don't know who? And I'm like, yo, I don't know what you was listening to.
And he's the start of it.
Yo, this is Kalashnikov, fam. This is legendary. I had to explain it to him. This is legendary shit.
He's a key point, Kalashnikov. Because when I talk about...
I put him with SKINNYMAN. I put them as the same...
Of course. But him and SKINNYMAN, both their albums come out 2004, yeah? And both of them were part of this UK hip-hop scene that was before that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But Kalashnikov and Skinny also connected with this new audience. And so they're very much artists that tapped into both of those worlds of UK hip-hop and UK rap that I'm talking about.
Because of both those same albums that they both dropped that year.
It's both same albums they've both dropped that year, but also and this is where I think Joe Black.
That's why they're here now.
Yeah, but this is why I think Joe Black's wrong on that point because it's like them man connected with the streets at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But there's layers to this thing. There's levels because there's like them man are for the streets, but there's this righteous message in it. So then the real like just savage.
What Joe Blood's probably saying is like that was like the flats, not the flats, but the flats. You know, like where groups like there's 6-7 man all standing on the block, rapping about strictly shit that happens in the block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
But then again, SKINNYMAN and that, they were doing
they
the
were
same
doing
thing,
that,
but they were giving a bigger message.
Do you know what? There's just layers to it. There's just certain man that was really just living road. Like don't get. I understand the difference because we was doing road to an extent, and we was out and we're shotting and all that, but we're selling weed, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like then there's a next layer where man are doing, man are shotting other things, and then there's man that are just running up, man that are running up just to rob the drug dealers and all that. You know what I'm saying? We're going through that in life, but them man that was running around doing robberies, they weren't rapping at that time. You know what I'm saying? So later on, the robbers that I'm saying the hard few shots, them man got a voice, and they should have a voice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's a mad story to even tell. It just made me think about the spot. But I even been in a situation like that where them times man's hustling and all that, and I've got people trying to rob me, all them things, and the music thing made it worse as well because man's got a little buzz in the name. I remember a man running up on me, and they're trying to rob me, and they're like, boom, boom, boom. They're talking about man's music. They're like, yeah, we know you're doing your music. Everyone's bigging it up. And then they're like, yeah, we see Skinny's doing this, we're doing that, but where's my thing? Like, I can rap. And I'm like, bro, how are you telling me that in this kind of circumstance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro, come talk to man, normal, and like, we do something. You know what I'm saying? I've known you for, like, and you talking about this man, man's known for years, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you're crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Really. And then, but cool, them kind of man that was, I see like, man used to say this about Jay-Z and DMX. I see journalists in America say this, that Jay-Z is the hustler, and then DMX is the guy that robs the hustler and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then you got both of those
in the sky.
And you got both of them things, and that cool. And there was a point, and going back to what I said earlier with them two scenes, what I feel it was is that and why I feel it got whitewashed to a certain point, is because them man was like the fans of it. They're middle class white kids most of the time, but all of these kind of genres a lot of the time, they're not at that point. They was not ready. And maybe even the rappers, because a lot of these white rappers that was involved, some of them weren't even having the street element we had. They were probably quite intimidated by when man them come in who are really about a certain lifestyle and coming into those events. So they kind of blocked it out. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that led to them scenes having to be built. Like, we're going to have to do our own thing and bun your thing then anyway.
I think Ben made mention of this, like talking about going to do certain events or something. And these man couldn't get in and all that because you lot ain't the right crowd. But man's rapping about where the man them's from and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can imagine for sure that kind of thing was going on. Yeah, it's mad. And like, so man just had to build their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And be like, boom, we're gonna make something. And so when I see Joe Black saying there was no one to be inspired by, as far as like, it may come to a level also of like, as far as seeing I can do something. Can I get a video here on this platform? Can I do this? Can I do that? Is someone going to let us in? They probably wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Even though man was doing, them man are doing their music thing over there, man's not letting man in. So cool. Not that I wouldn't or my people wouldn't, but the scene as a whole. And there's a lot of gatekeepers in that scene who are, before me and above me and that still to this day try and block people's, like, you know what I'm saying, from eating and all that.
Well, you know what it is, because I've had like a different experience in it. I came through, like, first the ends, so we had people that was pumping our stuff. It was a group collective. Then secondly, I would have went to UK Overstood. Which is a person that I didn't know was just starting the same time as me. I didn't know this. I didn't know. That's what it is. I thought you was.
Yeah, you're right. You know what it is?
The man already. But
we was just all. Bare people at that one time who are seeing something or wanting to do something.
Yeah, we're all seeing the other guys doing it, and we're thinking, they're not what. And then we got this guy saying, come on this thing. So we're like, then cool. Like, he can get us to there. But really, when we all came on there, it's went.
100%. And you know what? That's what built.
We're the man now.
That's what built it more than Channel U. Like Channel U, cool. That gets this thing. Channel U built the mainstream audience and all of that as well.
You're on the TV all day.
But that UK Overstood and a couple other channels at that time
Media Massacre
is what created that scene of UK rap. When they started
you go here
UK
and
rap.
then you can check the latest videos, and then you're seeing new people that are building because they got one video this week, then next week there's two, then they're on a feature. Do you know what I'm saying? It became like a roster of people.
Yeah, and the work rate, bro. I used to think my work rate was mad. That time, my activity just dipped in that time when I compare it to like what people was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like turning around these videos like boom, 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 boom,
non-stop.
Boom, you know what I'm saying?
And speaking of videos, you know what, cuz I want to give the people something. What's one of your earliest footage that's out now that they can?
Ooh.
And then we just put a link in the description for them.
I don't even know what the earliest footage would be, yeah. Because the earliest footage is probably some mad footage of a performance that I wouldn't even choose.
What about video?
Yeah, so the video, I guess, is a song called Reppin' would be, and it's not my first video. A couple of my first videos, even though it was on Channel U, are not even online like that. But Reppin' was it was the first single of my first album.
Okay, Reppin',
yeah.
And that was on Channel U as well?
That was on Channel U. This was on Channel U.
So tell me the process. I never ever had a video on Channel U. So I always looked at that like you made it at that time. Like, shit, these guys are on the TV. You know them ones. What was the process?
This way, I don't know if my thing's just slightly different, but I didn't deal with Channel U. I was on a record label at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I signed quite early.
I was signed. So
I was signed to who?
I was signed to Kayne Entertainment Records, who was the same label as Kalashnikov. So
why didn't you say that before?
Nah, do you know what? It's like, bro, I've got a long story. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. Like that's just part of it or whatever. But obviously, it is a very big part. But I was signed to them first. I was the first artist on that label, and at that point, it was them starting something, me starting something. Like you're saying, with you and UK overstood. So we put out a record. Then I kind of was with SKINNYMAN at the same time. We got group records coming out on another label. So I left Kayne Entertainment straight away. I was at first going to do 3 records with them, and then Skinny launched the label. We done the Mad Fam thing, and I left, and then they done the Kalashnikov thing, and then Skinny's label we hadn't ended up doing what we were supposed to do with it. I think he might have gone jail even at some point, etc. And then I went back to that label and I did my first album. So my first record, there ain't no video to that and all of that, so I couldn't even give you a clip of that. But when I came back, this is 2006 now, so it's after Skinny and Clash come out in 2004. 2 years later, I dropped my album on that same label, and the first video was Reppin', produced by Show and Prove. Just in the ends, man. I'm saying in Islet and Harvest Estate.
So was that your first track with Show and Proof? You made mention of him. He's a sick producer as well, isn't it?
Yeah, man. He's
made beats for
everyone, man. Like every rapper you can.
He made Millionaire for Blacks, isn't it?
Yeah. He done Bada Bing.
Was it? Yeah.
Bada Bing for Benny Banks. I think was a moment for him because that was like a sound that got created, and everyone wanted one of those beats like Wretch did. He's produced stuff for everyone from gigs to like Jessie J and like pop singers and all of that. But at that point, that was the first thing I had released with him, and it was like I think his second thing he'd kind of put out at the time. He'd done a Baby Blue record before that. Man, I guess that's a good starting point for me as far as
most definitely, man. Yeah, man, this is bloody interesting.
Did Kayne have something to do with HFM?
I
just remember you had a lot of...
Kayne had something to do with HFM.
Did you have something to do with HFM?
Kayne had something to do with HFM, and I had something to do with HFM, but I don't like, they have said this stuff publicly now, but obviously it's a pirate radio station, and them man are not really camera people, so I don't want to say too much about Kayne and HFM, but there's a connection there. But at one point, HFM was in my house. And like HFM,
we saying pirate radio station, man.
So I remember these times here, like there was pirate radio stations playing garage and all of that, and like grime was maybe just starting or whatever. But there was this one radio station that was hip hop, and that was their tagline, that dedicated to hip hop, and I was hearing it. Kung Fu was a hip hop night going on in Camden, and these two things kind of was the most important things that I seen was the Kung Fu night and this radio station, and
Kung Fu, was that before Jump Off and all them things?
Yeah, it's a little before, but also the similar time.
What is it like? What's Kung Fu though? What is that like?
WKD, so that was like...
It started WKDs, then it moved to the underworld. That was that UK hip hop scene I'm talking about, right? And it was at its height.
So when you go there, what performances?
Yeah, so there'll be a live
DJs.
There'll be a live act every month, and then there'll be an open mic, and the open mic was like a big deal. Like every rapper would come to spit, and they'd also put some names on like the flyer that these people are going to be a part of the open mic. So they're not really doing a PA, but they're going to be there spraying their thing. So I think the first time...
how'd you do it? Put your name down the month before some shit?
Nah, everyone would just come. You kind of be able to just jump on, yeah? Okay. And like, it started in WKD, and I think I played it. This is actually a mad point, because someone got footage of this somewhere, but I did it 1 month where I played the open mic section of the show, where my name's just in the open mic. But I think I just came with my instrumentals and anyway, and like Skinny and them was bubbling, doing their thing at the time. We were all bubbling, but he hadn't had no album out. And when I just got on the open mic to do my thing, like all the man them come on, and we just tore up the whole place. I mean, it's a small little venue. It's like 100 capacity, maybe like 200 maximum. You know what I'm saying? And then the next month, there was a queue like up the road, crazy. I think it was the first birthday of Kung Fu, because they've been bubbling with a small event. And I definitely played the first birthday. It was either that one was the first birthday or the one where I actually headlined with my first single. When that first Kemet single came out, I headlined Kung Fu. And then within a month or two from there, they had to move to a bigger venue, which is like, I don't know if it's like 800 capacity. It might have been 5, at least like 5 to 800 capacity venue. And then that was sold out every month just for the open mic. So
that
the
birthed
live
like a lot of
people
a lot. That were
a lot. And then like, but that's that world of Jest, of Task Force, of Rodney P, Roots Maneuver. Yeah. Eventually they brought American people. I think even like Guru, Gangstar headlined it once, and I think even maybe Raekwon did it once. But then when they did the Raekwon one, I think they put it in a bigger venue.
More people and stuff and that, innit?
So that was popping. But then anyway, going back to Itch FM, like Itch FM one time, like I can't even remember the connection with how I met them and all of that. Oh yeah, I do. But anyway, but Itch FM was popping for about a year, and then they must have got raided or shut down or whatever. So the team shut, the boom. They need a studio. Somehow someone who's connected with it is asking me, boom, do you want to run this in your yard? And this, I live with my mum these times, you know what I'm saying? So I had to convince my mum, like, yo, I'm just going to do it. And I underplayed it, like, yeah, we're just doing a little music thing in the room. You know what I'm saying? And like, she was like, I was like, look, this is going to be good for my career. I went to Skinny first as well. I was like, yo, these don't want to do this thing in my house.
About electricity and that.
And he gave me some advice and was just like, yeah, trust. He gave me some advice anyway. He was like, yeah, do it, but just do it for a month or two, whatever. He goes, get a little like contact book and make sure you write down every DJ's name. You know what I'm saying? Build your contacts,
build up your team. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And then he was like, yeah, and just try to shot them a little drawer while you sit there and smoke your weed. And shot them a little drawer while you're doing it. So I was like, alright, cool. So I done this, and then I built a relationship with Itch FM from that. And then one time, DJ Disorder, who was a big like name in that world for UK hip hop, he only played UK hip hop on his show, nothing else, never American stuff. And he's there. Me and Ben, like Ben's come to my yard, so he's just sitting there in the room. We're sitting and listening to them play their tunes. He's like, "Oh, you man are rappers, isn't it?" Like, yeah. But he didn't really know what man was connected with. Too tough. He was like, "You're rappers." He's like, but sometimes it was hard to bring guests as well onto the station because the management have to approve this and that. But we're just in the room, so he's like, "You're in the room. I might as well interview you." You know what I'm saying? Like,
your hair, you made it.
So me and Big Ben done a little interview, and then we spat some bars and that, and then the management and all of that was like, yeah, you're hard, and we know your movement, Mud Family and all of that. What's going on with you? Because I was already building the label, Skinny, and we were making all these plans, but they were just like, yo, let's put out your record. Yeah. So that's kind of how that came about, you know?
Yeah. It's funny how things like connect up and that, you know what I'm saying? All the time when it's organic, it's better. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I always notice. But you know what, cuz, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
And this is something that I always ask my guests, yeah? I put it in a way where it's a fantasy match. You know what I'm saying? Versus. You know they do a lot of verses in the US Swiss Beats and them and Triller. We always tune into it. So I always think to myself, what if this person and that person was put together, 10 tracks, you're in the 3rd, 4th row, in the middle, like unbiased, just listening, who wins? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put... Yeah, because a lot of speculation's been... Well, these guys even made up recently. So I'm going to say, on one side, Drake.
Okay.
And on the other side, Kanye West.
Yeah, I mean, I thought...
10 tracks.
It almost did it the other day when they done that little concert together.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's a hard one. I think that's one of the hardest ones that exists.
Mad, isn't it?
I think... It's almost impossible to beat Drake when it comes to hits. It's almost impossible.
That's
but Kanye,
what it sounds like.
But Kanye, it's also almost impossible to beat Kanye. I think Kanye might edge it. Do you know what I'm saying? Just
someone with like reasonable.
He's got like
reasonable thinking. You know,
he's
what I'm
got
saying?
different kind of weaponry. Like he every album is like he's changed his sound a million
different
times.
style. Like.
He's got mad. Like, not that Drake ain't. Drake's done that too. Drake's got a few styles and all of that, but not on the Kanye level. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye is the original. Like Drake looks at Kanye as an influence and an inspiration.
You see, when I think of these questions, I usually ask people around, you know, like just around me, just to see what their opinion is.
Yeah.
And Drake, Kanye, everyone just says Drake.
Yeah.
But they ain't got no reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they say Drake, I've noticed that I get my backup, because when I'm putting these two people, I always think that they're kind of similar anyway. Do you understand? Like they both have powers. So when people just say Drake, I think, well, explain that to me. Why is it just Drake?
It can go
Why
both
ain't
ways,
like
isn't it?
money right? You know, like wait till I get my money. Like when them tunes lick off in your head, like
Kanye's catalog is insane, bro.
No, and he's produced for people.
Yeah,
and he's produced.
Yeah, but even just his catalog, like. Just
but if
his
it's just
catalog,
him,
like,
10.
Trust me,
But
I think
everyone uses stuff that they produce as well.
Yeah, I know, but he's got
Jameson
bro.
with a gold
He don't
digger.
need, my thing is, he don't need to. Like Drake,
don't need
literally.
to,
I mean,
but he's got that
Kanye, yeah,
capacity.
literally, his
Just him.
Catalog,
If it was
yeah,
just him,
he has one of the
he's
best
still-
catalogs of
he's
albums to
still
me. You know what I'm
packing,
saying? To me,
yeah.
Drake. Like Drake comes into this, and a lot of people don't, you know, especially people that are into
He's
street
got
music, they
some-
don't rate Drake and all that. Yeah, but to me, Drake, Kanye, Jay, Nas, them four people probably got the best catalogs.
Yeah.
Maybe Game has a mental catalogue, whatever you think of him as a rapper and that. So I think like them man, it could go either way. But it kind of, you know, they done a concert the other day and Kanye organised it when they made it, like, oh, come on this concert for me. And I think Drake tried to do a thing, like, Kanye was trying to make it look like we're doing our verses without calling it that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And he came out and he done all his hits.
Yeah, all
And then
his
Drake
hits.
came out and was like, I'm just going to do my songs from my new album. And I feel like he done that. He done that to make sure it doesn't look like a verses. But now you just made yourself lose. So I feel like it happened and he lost already.
How do you mean? Like what?
Like in that concert, I'm saying they done
So
their
you saying
thing.
Drake won in the concert?
No, I'm saying Kanye
already,
won.
yeah, because he's dropping
because
all
he
of
just
his,
done all his hits and then Drake come out and done all these
like
new
a little
songs.
smart move and that, innit? Like, yeah.
But I think it didn't really work. It just made Kanye's performance come off better. And I'm like, cool, you man just had your verses. You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Yeah, it's a good one still. So, cuz, alright, then cool. I want to put something else in the description for the people at home. Like,
Alright.
so what would you say is your most known track? You know the track that people come up to you and talk to you, oh, you remember that track, cousin?
Bro, do you know, where man's been in so many eras,
Yeah.
it's like hard for me to say because there's songs from each era. Do you know what I'm saying?
Give us a couple.
So I would say like there's songs that are not on YouTube. Well, they're probably on YouTube like the audio, but I'll say In the Park. There's a song called In the Park, which is a Mud
That's
Family
out.
song, yeah? Yeah, it's a Mud Family song. I mean, you'll find it on YouTube. It only ever came out on CD and vinyl. It's not on Spotify or none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Before that era, man's before that era. I ain't even said Spotify on this on this show once.
Trust.
It's not even in the argument yet. Obviously, they can go back and try and get it now because people put them out. But
I say
from
In
a
the
different
Park
era.
In the Park was a record of me, Nasa, and Tibbs that we wrote.
Tibbs, okay,
That we wrote with when Skinny was in jail, and we was just like trying to keep the Mud Family thing going or whatever, just trying to do some music. So we made a song called In the Park, and then Skinny heard it. We come like, ah, cool. That's got to go on the EP. I think it's the only record on the EP that Skinny's not on.
That he's not on, yeah. No, to show the man them's doing things as well. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's on that EP.
Hold it up.
Because it's on that EP, like people did love that song. You know what I'm saying? To perform that song, it used to go off like in a whole different
What's it called?
era.
In the Park.
In the Park, yeah. It's about Kinloch Park, yeah. In the Park, there's
What? It's about what?
3 ways in and 8 ways out. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Because you be in the park and it's about Kinloch Park, just off Hornsey Road, but it's about any park. Like you'll be in a lot of parks like that and be like, yo, there's the 3 exits there, and then there's an over the wall there, and there's there. So when the feds come in, man's like, that's it.
Okay.
So that, I guess that, man, and then
You did a remix of the Shanty as well.
Yeah.
More official, I remember that.
What?
Yeah.
With the shanty?
Yeah, like so.
How'd that come about?
So yeah, that's like an unofficial official remix. Yeah. So that's why I say there's I got songs of different eras and also different pockets of where they're popular. Like so that's probably the people who don't even know me. Do you know what I'm saying? But first, you know, like when they do remixes of a song, they go to producers a lot of the time and go, "Oh, we want you to remix this, like remix the music, the beat." Sometimes they put a rapper on it or whatever. So they, Def Jam UK must have asked First Man Productions to do this remix. And they was just bubbling at the time. They'd done a lot of Skinny's album and it maybe started doing some other stuff. And so they've asked me to come and spit on it. But it didn't get used. So, you know, when they asked labels ask producers to studios, they might ask 10 producers and then, we pick that one. So they didn't actually put this song out. But it was asked to be done officially. And because we were like, yo, this is dope, we just sent it out to some DJs and Deja started playing it every single day on their playlist at night. And, you know what I'm saying? Like mad girls started talking to man about it and all that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it was official, but because it did come through Def Jam, but it weren't really ever released. But obviously that's on YouTube with like hundreds of thousands of views and all that, because it's a shanty, innit? You know what I'm saying?
That's the first I'm hearing of this, fam. And I feel like I'm a historian, you know, like I feel like especially with this pod, I've even had to go even deeper than like, you know what I'm saying, and start like, okay, like if you're on this pod, I know who you are. I knew who you was. I might not have listened to your music every day, but
of course.
I knew who you was. You know what I'm saying?
But that's look at them two kind of examples, In the Park and then a Shanty remix. Like those are two worlds apart. And I got some of my biggest records. I got some records in some films and some like football films. And they got like some of them are my biggest hits on Spotify because people are watching the film on Netflix and then they're like, oh, what's that song? Let me go look it up. But then people ain't rap fans, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I could say that's my biggest song, but it's not really, do you know what I'm saying? So I say like, that repping one I mentioned already, like that was a moment for me. Like, got a lot of radio play and all of that kind of stuff. And a couple the other singles from that album. And then I got a song called These Waters, which I did like 2011. It's more the end of the era you're talking about here. I feel like that's probably one of my biggest as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's cold. You've been putting in work.
And
you've been putting in work.
One record, Prove My Love as well with Dappy still.
With Dappy as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's that? In the Park.
Yeah.
Say the other two.
In the Park. What do we say? The Shanty Foolish remix got thrown in there.
It never changed as well.
Do you know what? If you ask me what my favourite record is, not Never Change. Is it Never Change? Never Give In.
Never Give In.
Yeah. So Never Give In is a record with me and Big Ben for my first album. That to me is my favourite record. It was my favourite record on my first album. Might be still be one of my favourite records I've done. And it's like I had a record deal at the time, but I was making. Big Ben was in jail, so I'm making this album. He's in jail. I've finished the album. He's come out, but it's not released yet. So I'm telling the label like, yo, we gotta make one more. We gotta make one more song and it ended up being a bonus song. I'm like, yo, I had no features on my album. Apart from a singer, Sharifa Shah, you know, he sang that Swiss Cry, you know, the version with the singer on it. So she was the only feature on my album, and I was like, nah, Big Ben has to be on my album. So we made Never Give In. It's not like my biggest record, but it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know when a man's done more work than you knew.
Trust me, bro. We're
put in more work than I knew, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you, cuz I
man.
swear down.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you want to touch on this radio stuff and the stuff you done with Jeremy Corbyn?
Oh gosh,
that's why you're here as well.
We'll be here for a long podcast.
But that's why you're here, fam. To throw these little extra ones in of the stuff that I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not savvy with. This is all new shit to man.
Yeah.
So go and break it down, fam.
What you're saying? So you know what it is, yeah? Actually, with Flip Life TV, I was kind of coming out of that record deal stuff, and I'm watching what the man them are doing and all of that. UK Overstood and just the whole movement that was going on, and I didn't get that involved in it. That's why I wanted to say at the beginning, like I was known in this UK hip hop world, and then this new UK rap scene that I was like mad happy to see happen, but I was still in some other kind of mind state in some kind of ways. It took me a minute to go, rah, man, them are gonna just like, we're just gonna put a camera on and we're gonna shoot a video, like a hood video. Yeah. I like, not that I didn't like it and love the music and the thing. I was just like, I just came from being on the label with a budget and all that. And even if you look at the budget and the videos now, they ain't really saying that compared to what man eventually ended up making. But it's in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm not ready to do that yet. And then I'm just the guy also, this is probably like a toxic trait to my own self, is that I always want to do everything myself. So I'm like, alright, cool. UK Overstood's doing these videos, that Big J's making all these videos, he's doing it, alright, cool, I'm going to buy a camera, I'm going to do it as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'll make my videos. So I kind of made UK Flip Life TV off of the inspiration of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that I'm going to make a channel.
And that UK Overstood off of rolling with these.
Yeah, it goes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's each one teach one.
Yeah, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you gotta love that when the man them are just inspired by each other and trying to do something. There's nothing there for us. We're trying to think. Oh, you tried that? Cool. I'm gonna try this. Oh, you tried that? I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
So I made Flip Life TV just so I can make my own music videos again and start putting out music again because I didn't have a deal anymore. The game changed a bit. I went to uni to do music, so I was like, I want to mix and master my own thing. I don't have to rely on nobody. I started mix and master my own thing, make a video, and so that had led to me having a media platform, and knowing them things, and yeah, make beats, and I've been doing a bit more of that recently. But then I said that kind of led to me doing this kind of content at one point. Now we were doing this quite early, so me and Big Ben did a radio show, and also I was becoming like known to a new world of social media who are hip hop fans, but they're a bit younger. They might know a bit of history. And go, oh, my man's connected with that, but they're very involved in talking about social issues. So I got involved in all these conversations about social issues, which at one point I was doing music about that. I was doing music about like anti-war records, and that's even a connection with Jeremy Corbyn because I was working for I was making records for the Stop the War coalition that he was part of, or he was the head of at one point, and we were performing in Trafalgar Square at these anti-war protests to 50,000 people and all of that. This is a whole separate, and that's what I'm saying. This has an audience that has its own audience over there. So I thought I've done all these.
You're in bare different.
I've done all these things that have done bare different worlds and had their own different audiences, but I've never really had like the hit record that all of them joined together and these people will follow me. So that's why it's weird for me to pick and choose. But that led me to media. And then that led to the radio show. That's led to like, okay, people are talking about these social issues now, and people are coming to my page to see conversations about social issues. So let's make a radio show out of it. Let's start putting video content, podcast content on the YouTube. And then and this is more recent, isn't it? This is like the last kind of 5 years, 5-6 years maybe. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that led to me doing other journalism because. I started getting asked to do like interviews for magazines. I'm doing YouTube podcast interviews, and I started getting asked to do. I started writing. I thought, I can write. Like when I was at university, write essays and all that. I started writing. Jeremy Corbyn's son, actually. I decided, one day, I said the media thing's not making me money right now. Like doing videos for people and all that. And I'm a guy. I've always said to myself, if my music's not making money, I'll find some other pocket in the industry to do it. So sometimes when I'm doing that media channel, that's part of it. Cool, I'm do some videos for people, charge for this, charge for that, services. And I realized this media thing's not making me money. And I thought, the money right now I think is in the magazines. Let me kind of write. I decided, and these are moments in my life where I manifested stuff, We skipped this earlier, but with the Mud Family thing, when I heard them man's records, I was like, I just want to do I want to be respected like them, man. And then within a year, I was one of them. So I was like, okay, I manifested that thing. And then with this, I said to myself, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to write for magazines, and that's going to get me paid. And I didn't even tell anybody. And then Jeremy Corbyn's son...
You said it to the universe.
I said it to the universe. And then Jeremy Corbyn's son messaged me and said, yo, do you want to write an article for this this American magazine? They want to write an article about Corbyn, like my dad, and like his connection to music and all of that kind of thing, and how the music scenes have embraced him, the grind for Corbyn. I was like, all right, cool. So I wrote that. They paid me a check. I was like, all right, I'm a writer now. Then someone else... I shared that, like, this is my article, I'm a writer. And then someone else, some woman that follows me on Facebook now, someone else is going to ask, does anyone know any music writers? And she's tagged me because she's seen this one article I wrote. You know what I'm saying? And then the guy who's running this magazine is looking for a music writer. He probably thinks I've written bare stuff, but he inboxes me, and then 2 days later, I'm sitting in a fashion studio interviewing Jay Huss. And then a week after that, I'm interviewing Little Yachty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it went mad. I was just like, and again, I just manifested that to happen, bro. Like, I just said, I'm going to do this, and then I just did it. You see, my portfolio for writing is mad. Like, and I need to go back to it, because I need to get that portfolio out and then, like, holler at all the magazines and do it properly, and because it just fell in my lap.
If you just jumped on it on that, and your first bits of work is like these things you're just saying.
And that's a front cover, that's like a fashion magazine. J Huss front cover, Little Yachty front cover. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro. I'm saying, then I done Chip
and that.
I done Chip. I can't remember. The list is mad. Like, so that led to me doing media, and then hand in hand political campaign, because I'm talking about social issues so much, and I got quite involved in just like politics. And I don't even want to push this that much now, because I feel like bun politics, and I always felt that in the beginning. But when Jeremy Corbyn was running, he's my local MP. He's someone we've always known is a good guy, and he's always been down for like most people like around here.
He's like a tried and tested
kind
of person.
Everyone's family, he's helped them in some way, somewhere along the line. Like you can't really talk to no one who ain't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I found a picture of my yard. Like I randomly, like on my mum or my sister's Facebook or something, there's like an album of like some photos that have been scanned, and it's just family pictures. But one picture was the front of the house, and this is 15-year-old photos, and it had the vote Labour thing in the window, and it said Jeremy Corbyn. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they write the name of the actual local MP.
Yeah. Vote for this person. I know.
So that was in the window because he was our local MP then 15 years ago. And my mum's putting the thing in the window like, vote for him. And then, but ban Labour other than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the fact that he became the leader, I'm like, yo, this means something. This is an opportunity, and I never voted in my life. I said, I'm going to register to vote. Actually, I joined the Labour Party. Because he was running to be the leader, and I found out that if you join the Labour Party, you can vote for who's going to be the leader in the Labour Party.
Okay.
And then you pay a little fee every month to be a member. So like, all right, cool, I joined the Labour Party to vote him in, and then I just got involved. You know what I'm saying? And started kind of campaigning for that, and then we built a guy called Josh Cole started a campaign called Rise Up that was for encouraging young people to vote. And we weren't legally allowed to say, we're gonna push for Corbyn or push. We're just saying just vote.
Okay.
And now I look back on that message, and I'm pushing that message at that time. Where never in my life would I be telling people to vote. Because one voting, it doesn't do nothing. But at the same time, it made me realize it does sometimes do something. Because if you vote for that one guy who's just for your local area, that guy is now in the local councilling office. You may be able to go and speak to him. He may be able to clean up something about very small things. They may be able to deal with an issue on your estate and stuff like that. So it does matter who that guy is, although it might not matter to the big picture of who's running the country and all the madness that they're getting up to. But
is that how you started doing the debating on the
the
news and that?
he
was doing, like, you had a couple of debates on the news as well.
Yeah. So I ended up being on the news a few times. Was that from that? I can't remember. Nah. I was on the news, like RT News and some other news, but I was on RT News a lot, which is like a Russian news channel. I was on there once talking about politics, but they seem to call me a lot to talk about rap stuff. I've been on there to talk about drill music a million times. Oh, drill music violent. What are we going to do about it? And then they brought me on there to talk about wireless at Finsbury Park. I thought they banned me after that because I just got feisty with the guy. I was just like, bruv. Like, man saying he wants to ban wireless from Finsbury Park.
That's mad.
And the mad thing is, I wasn't...
the only thing we got.
Bro, I wasn't even...
the only thing we got.
I wasn't even in a room with him sitting like this. It's mad, because I was on holiday with my family, and they called me, and they're like, can you do this thing? I said, I'm not even in London. They're like, where are you? I told them, I'm in some next town, and they go, cool. They go, we'll send you a car to drive you to Manchester, which is like an hour and a half drive. And then we can put you in the BBC studio in Manchester, and you can just
green screen
do it over the camera. And I'm like, cool. So I'm just looking into a camera. They didn't have a screen for me to see the guy. I couldn't see him.
So you could hear him, though, innit?
I could hear him, but it was funny because like no one knows I can't see him. But he's going. I said, look, Finsbury Park. I'm saying what it means to the community. He's saying I'm from Finsbury Park. So I ain't never seen you before, bro. I'm saying that. I was like, I was gonna put it on a t-shirt. But I can't see him, so I don't know. But I know, bro. I know I ain't never seen him before. I said, bro. I said, I've never seen you before.
Never seen you. For you to be saying something stupid like that.
Yeah, I said, I've never seen you before. And I said, I am the community. And I was like, I was going to print both them things on t-shirts. And I was quite aggressive about it. And then after that, the station never called, man, bro. But they did again recently. It took about a year or something before they called, man, again. You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen you, bro.
I'll send you the link, bro, because it's funny as fuck, bro.
We'll put that up as well.
But yeah, like, bro, like all of that just came from getting involved in media and just being like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm always gonna have a career in this industry. You know what I'm saying, like, because man's getting older, I'm not focused on music so much. Boom, boom, boom. Like, I'm gonna do this and that, and it led to politics. It led to all sorts of things, bro.
That's cool. Cuz let's take it back to the verses. We did the US.
Okay.
Let's do the UK now. Yeah, because I said to one of my friends at home, I said 2 names, and he just dismissed he just dismissed one person, like no chance, yeah, and said to me, Hunt, you need to take this person and put him with a newer person, because I was putting people from the same era. Do you get what I'm saying?
That kind of makes sense too, though. I mean,
it does.
Hit me how you're going to hit me, but you see,
like
the verses, they do put the errors
They
together,
put them together,
yeah.
But remember, this is a fantasy. He said, see when my friend broke it down to me, he said, cuz, see the new person that he drew for, I said, cuz, how can he chat to him? Are you going crazy? Like, there's two different eras. He said, cuz, let's play the tracks now.
Yeah.
You pick 10 of his tracks and I'll pick 10 of his. And we see
and
what...
you did it, yeah?
And we did it. We did the verses in my house.
Yeah, cool.
And the name that, like, he drew for was a credible name. It's because it's like, raw, shit.
It depends who you're talking, because it's hard.
So let's just give the names then, innit, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So on one side, Nines.
Okay.
On the other side, Pot of Paper.
That's not too drastically different.
But to me, it's the error. It's the
error. No, but I'm saying that. What errors do you put them in?
Well, you see, yeah, I think Nines is before, but Nines was at the tail end of.
Of course,
like, of arting. He was there though, but
because Nines is still so active.
He was there, but it's like I just remember seeing Nines. I don't know.
Just after.
Yeah.
The opposite era.
Yeah, it just feels like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Knowing both of them,
and
then Nines being Nines.
Yeah.
And then after, Potter was like, but then kept on going jail, innit?
Yeah.
And then when he came out, he's like, shit.
I see what you're saying,
Potter,
but I think
Nines
it's a
has
good...
gone jail now.
Yeah.
So else Nines would be... I still would put Nines a bit up because he's had albums out. And you know them ones?
That's the thing.
Well, as a better rapper? Or a better
No.
music?
I'm just saying
Versus,
in terms of
versus
before.
is a different thing to better rapper.
Yeah,
so
just before. I just see Nines as the era before. I don't know why.
But that gives
correct me in the comments
this
if
is
you
the
lot
thing,
disagree. But I just see Nines as before Pot of Paper.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In terms of like putting that's why I wouldn't put them together on a verses, because I just feel like
the thing is he's almost aside from Pot of Paper is having his moment now, but like Nines is before and he's also after because of those jail times. So it's like to me. In that matchup, it's closer than I think we think error-wise, but it's Nines easily for me in that because of Nines because I think Nines has got one of the best catalogs of UK rappers.
He has, and we did.
And I'm talking about albums. I'm not because we got all the mixtapes and all of that as well.
The verses, man's got 10 tracks. So you can't bring that album. You just got to bring the best one from that one. And you see, my brethren, he was like, all right, cool. I can't remember what he must have played. I can't remember what he played. Something from Pot of Paper, Long Time.
Yeah.
Long Time, bust it and I came home.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, mad. Don't get me wrong. That Paper is fire. And right now, come on.
Yeah. On Nine's side, man played Stacey Adams.
Yeah.
Man was like when we listened to the two of them, it's like, cuz.
Yeah.
Long Time. You know, like, and I think it's maybe, I don't know.
So how did the battle play out? So who won?
It was closer than I thought. I thought it was going to be Nines blowing them out the water. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. It was more.
It might be the record.
No, but we're not watching the videos.
I'm just saying,
on stage. We're listening to the music.
And you two doing it in the room.
I think Nines' videos is what makes him.
Yeah,
like popular.
But Nines got
of course, definitely. But his bars, bars are hard. His bars are hard.
You see Nines though, yeah.
Position to make hit records. You get what I'm saying? Like,
nah, but he got himself there though. He got himself there.
He got it independently. With the tracks were very hood, and I kind of.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like this little West Coast kind of sound.
Yeah.
I prefer his earlier stuff, even when there was more hood.
But now Pot of Paper is in that got that machine, so he's building that. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get there.
The reason people liked him in the first place was purely off his music.
No, I know.
Not because the videos were.
But he's still that guy, bro. That my man played from Pot of Paper weren't even his songs. They were freestyles.
No, but
it was like his link up TV.
But that's you, man. Them in a room, yeah. What hypes you two up? Yeah. When you're putting that on a stage, like in the verses setting, and Nines comes out and does. I See You Shining and all of them.
Yeah, that's the tunes that he had to draw for. That's the tunes that had to get. That's the tunes that had to get drawn for. I See You Shining. Can't Blame You. Can't Blame Me. What's it called? Oh, there's another one as well.
But you see, Nines to me,
the NSG.
With the NSG guy, the NSG, But you see Nines, yeah, bro. The other day, yeah. I was just making a playlist. I was making a playlist like just to listen to in my car the other day, yeah. and I was like, let me just go through all the recent UK rap albums that I liked and put just the songs I want. I put on every single intro and outro from the Nines album. You know what I'm saying? Just the intro and outro. Every intro, outro, he's just rapping. It's like he brought that element where he started that on the intro and he's just letting out his pain. You know what I'm saying?
His package is really
good. You know but you see Nines though. Like who's Nines remind you of? Who do you think his influence is?
Blacks.
There you go. Yeah. Someone say, I think it was Regs. I was sitting.
You know why it took so long to say that? Because I thought he was talking about an American.
No. I played Nines to Regs. I think I don't know if he'd really heard him much, and I just playing him, and he was like, "This is hard." He was like, "But that's Joe Black." He was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's true. I never really, you know what I'm saying, just the way man raps kind of calm, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know, he managed to take that to the mainstream in the way that that Blacks didn't, you know what I'm saying.
Well,
he packaged it, innit?
Hip hop has packaged that. People like the package of Nines, and it's good. I still like his music as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying, but when it comes, I don't know.
His visuals are A1, innit?
His package, but just to him, you know, like even when he was buying the grills.
I'm just saying, like,
bro, do you know how much Bumpy Johnson moves?
Do you know how much I love it though? Do you know how much I just love it, bro? You know what I'm saying? I know because we come from a different thing. Yeah, sometimes we see things get mainstream and all that, it's kind of whatever. But I'm just like, yo, this guy. Did he have? I feel like he had a #1 album, top 5. If not,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm just like, yo,
that's another thing why I put him in the era before.
Bro,
he's had a run.
Like out of a lot of them, there's only a couple of them. I guess Gigs as well, but even more Nines than Gigs. That's he's still just like a rogue guy. You know what I'm saying?
I have to find someone to put Gigs on stage with.
Yeah, Jay Hustle.
Let me just. I have to go. We'll discuss it after, innit? We just talk after.
But that's not even.
You see me, I'm a man that likes everyone's early music anyway, so you can't really listen.
But you know what? See, anyone that does the verses is gonna draw for that clip. They're not gonna be coming in verses with their new shit. They're gonna be trying to come with, okay, remember that one that you knew me for? Remember when the hunger was there?
I'm weird, you know. I'm like the opposite of all the man them, because I like sometimes sleep on people when they're doing their mixtapes and that, and then I actually listen to the album like. Even with Americans like Drake.
So what, you don't catch on to the people when they're just...
I might catch them. I'll see the videos and I go, oh, my man's hard and all that.
Who have you...
As an artist, I like albums. When someone makes an album, like sometimes I end up not listening to the rapper because I'm like, give me that, I want to hear that polished thing. And I want to listen to that to you first because you're going to spend so much time on this to making this important like artwork. I'm gonna just take it in. Like I remember when Drake, when he was buzzing and he was dropping mixtapes, like I didn't listen, and then he dropped his album. I was like, I'm like this Drake guy. All right, I'll listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's check it out.
And I listened to, yeah. Okay, my man's hot. You know what I'm saying?
But back to the Who did we say?
Nines, man. I said Nines. Though.
Easy.
I said Nines. I think Nines easy, but it's for the reasons that are like being called out. It's for the fact that he's just had hits, and I think Pot of Paper is going to have them hits, because Pot of Paper is now signed to a major label.
But you got to remember though, cuz, you still got to remember, none of these things matter when you're standing there listening to the track for track. It's just all to do.
Nah, but when
let's say both their DJs,
yeah, it matters, man.
Say both their DJs play the tunes that you expect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, like, because sometimes like Dips, they played the wrong songs and they didn't perform it well, but they played the wrong songs initially. Let's say the DJs play the songs you expect to hear from both of these guys. Is it still Nines?
It's still Nines, man. But and because the songs you expect from Nines are big hit records. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, not to say that Pot of Paper ain't got
they're
smashes,
big hit.
But
that are you gonna sing along? Are you gonna be like, oh shit? Because certain times we listen back to old school tunes. It's fam, this is a corny one still, but we still like it's like Soulja Boy doing Superman.
Yeah, but in that verses,
we know the verse,
bro. In that verses thing, I'm not in that element. In that verses thing, I'm embracing.
You're gonna be
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna embrace it, and I'm clocking, like I'm giving them their flowers as I'm watching it. I watched Fat Joe and Ja Rule's verses, and I was so surprised. I was so surprised how much I enjoyed watching all of Ja Rule's hits and him getting his flowers.
You forgot.
Like, as corny as it is.
Man, them forgot how hard. Listen, do you know who made you think Ja Rule was shit? 50 Cent.
Of course,
50 Cent told us he was shit.
Like you need to have a certain amount of years in the game.
Brother, we was listening to Ja Rule before 50 Cent said this.
I still think
you have a verses, I feel like
you can't even come on it if you're just like.
If you've only got shy years in the game, to me, like if you're asking 10 tracks of those two people you just asked, I don't even know 10 tracks of them, man.
Yeah. Of who?
Off my head, like
off your head, of Nines and Pot of Paper. I might not know the 10 either.
We played 10.
You find them. You find them when you're trying to do it. But
we wouldn't know 10 names, but I tell you what, Jay, if I played 10 Nines tracks to you now, you'd know at least 8 of them.
Do you know what? I wouldn't know 10 Pot of Paper songs, and that's probably influencing my thing. No, but
I just don't know the names.
I'm saying, but I ain't.
Would.
Like I say, he ain't dropped his album yet.
Me and my brothers was rapping in the yard, fam.
You know, I'm just saying, in terms of
like if he made a wrong choice,
I
dissed it. This is what's this new shit? I don't. Who knows it? Like
if the verses was to happen here, I think it would have to start within Graham slightly.
Yeah.
Like, if
But they've been doing it.
Well, cuz I'm gonna start drawing for all of the people. Cuz don't watch that, man.
But they've been doing it, alright.
That's a whole nother discussion.
You know, based on like Chip versus Dizzy Rascal. So I don't
exactly.
know.
Obviously, everyone wants Wiley.
Chip versus D-double-E or something. Don't worry, I'm gonna draw for them.
D-double-E, he didn't have as much album stuff. You know.
It'll be the same
but
thing.
It's not about albums. It's about
no. But to me,
I tell you
why. To me, it is about albums. Because it's like the artist, without having that album position, a position to make an album and have singles off of it, that you're going to have an album budget to push them. That's harder to have them hit records.
Dips can say they won then if we're talking about albums.
No, they can't.
Like they would have the rights to argue
I disagree with that, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I tell you the truth.
They lost because of their performance.
I tell you the truth, yeah?
And that's what happens on every verse.
I don't think so, though. I tell you the truth.
It could be J Hus. I said before, J Hus versus Kojo Funds to my friend. And my friend said, you idiot, man. Kojo Funds loses every time.
He does,
and I'm like,
he does,
are you all right?
He does.
Then we played 10 tracks of Kojo Funds.
He does,
it was
though.
like,
I'll tell you the truth, though. But to me...
Oh, shit. People would sing along to this.
To me, I think J Hus is the best. Yeah, but he ain't got enough albums.
You've got 10 tracks in this fantasy league.
No, he ain't got enough albums to go with certain people. That one can work. But I think with the Locks and Dipset, I know we say the performance is what won, and it obviously did.
And the tracks are catalogued.
I'm saying, I think they won on hits, and that's what surprised me. I looked and I thought, in my head, them two was like, Dipset is washing the Locks on hits. They got so many hits, and then when I saw them doing it, I was like, all the Locks, like certain features, and I was like, they actually had more hits. And then I went back to YouTube and looked at their highest views on their biggest videos. I was like, actually, I miscalculated
way before them.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Locks had
way
more
before
hits.
them. So they had this season where they was like, like when they was number one in this season, and then like 5 seasons later they was number one again. But you came in 2 seasons after that, fam. So they've had
man was wrong about that.
They was the man before you even.
I still believe the performance won it because again.
The performance won it either
that
way.
edged it.
You see, like some music's timeless and some is not. Because there's some
Plus,
hip hop that's got that timeless, but when you hear things like boom, it's like, oh shit, that ain't timeless. It's like when I say 3 6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs, I was sure. I said this before that.
I didn't even watch that one.
That Bone Thugs was gonna watch them, just being an old school Bone Thugs fan, But watching the show,
back on this shit again.
No, them man are serious.
Back on this shit. They're both.
You know them man, You know 3 6 Mafia,
They're both shit, man.
Nah, but you know 3 6 Mafia, Them man basically like.
Trick the game.
Them man are basically like part of the creators of grime. Like you see when them man was making
the simple.
The type of beats, like when you put grime and like they put grime and trap stuff together, and you kind of see the tempos the same, whatever. But if you see Dizzy Rascal talking, I see an interview with Wiley saying it, and that's what solidified it to me. Because Wiley was like, actually, I know he says a different thing every time you ask him this question, but at one point he goes, how did grime start? And he goes, it was Dizzy Rascal making his beats on his computer, and that he was just trying to make rap beats, and he was trying to make Dirty South rap beats, and that's how it started. And then I see Dizzy, he's not taking credit for grime, but he was just saying, how did you start? And he goes, he goes, when I started, they called it grime and all that after, but I was just trying to make rap songs, and I was just listening to 3 6 Mafia. And trying to make beats like this. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously the rapping that comes on top, the energy, the MC culture of UK things, and all of that package is what became a genre. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's an influence there in the beats.
Okay.
Even the whole style of where music is now. You can see the whole style of where music is now. It's slightly what they started. That repetitive stuff.
Even
American. The 3 6 Mafia.
It's always good to find out where things come from, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people that will be listening to shit and don't even know. You know what I'm saying, fam? But I didn't know that neither.
That's why it looked like, because Juicy J's still got more of a current career.
And I never listened to them. Remember, I was saying from the other ones, I don't.
I didn't listen to them hard.
Dumb shit.
It was a hard one to gauge. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
And it makes sense. Because like even the lyrics were like repeat lyrics on the Grimes. Do you know what I'm saying? It was more like get your little 1 sentence. You know them ones. Repeat your thing like.
It's a vibes thing, isn't it?
A vibes thing, innit?
Yeah.
The vibes thing.
And you know, one thing when you're doing the quote unquote verses is that you need to get the crowd, innit?
Yeah.
So the crowd are gonna be to certain.
That's what I'm saying. Grime man are washing a lot of people. If you put grime man against not grime man, they're washing a lot of people.
Nah, that's unfair.
Yeah, of course.
It's unfair. It's unfair. But then again, there'll be man that just listen to rap and be in there listening to that thing. I'll turn this shit off, man. You know them ones, because man's like listen to a Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know, like one of them Red Bull clashes that they do, and then I think, get this sound off. I'm waiting for these guys to come back. You know them ones, So you have to do it where the people's going to be enjoying both sides, so you can be unbiased and give a fair.
Do you think it's crazy that we even separate grime from hip hop?
I understand why grime is separated.
I understand why it's separated.
In America, crunk and all that is not separated from hip hop.
Yeah, crunk and trap and all that. It's all.
Yeah,
Some people separate it, but it's all still considered hip hop.
Yeah.
I have this conversation a lot. I've had it on the radio shows and all that, and I said I've done a debate, is grime hip hop? I'm like, yeah, to me grime is a form of hip hop music, but there's a level of respect that you have to put on their name to say, yo, these man created something. So give them their name. But I don't want to see that. I don't like seeing when we're not calling it hip hop from the hip hop side, which goes back to the UK hip hop scene. I say not embracing people in the beginning from an angle of, this ain't really what we do. So the hip hop man are saying grime is not hip hop because they don't respect it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see it said that way around. I respect it as its name because it needs its own thing. But it's part of hip hop though.
Yeah, man, grime's grime. Yeah, and I think if you did jungle, then you would have jumped onto garage, you know them ones, and house and all them things, and then grime was the younger lots.
No, but you gotta understand
they weren't allowed in our race.
Exactly, they weren't allowed.
They weren't allowed.
You know, it made me think.
My little youngers were doing grime, fam.
You know what I'm saying? What I said
they had their own little room.
But what I'm saying, when I said in the beginning,
decks in the
UK
corner
hip hop,
doing
like
their thing,
UK hip hop weren't letting man them in. Yeah, when I said UK hip hop weren't letting man them in, and then this UK rap scene came out, it's similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Because garage, that's them. I said, the garage man weren't letting them in. You know what I'm saying? So they created their other thing, and it's like they created their hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like. And it was a bit more street. It's the same
when
kind
they
of
started coming
thing.
to man's raves, that club became common because anyone can get in, everyone can get in. We want to go to the exclusive. That's what certain sounds were. They were like exclusive. This age group, this is our genre. So these new young ones can't do it. So they just went and did their own thing. Because I remember my youngers, the guys I was rapping with in LORD. They were doing grime before I was doing rap, and they had their own little room with decks, and they used to do their little things, and we used to laugh at them.
But they were in garage.
Was they doing?
It was.
But I think it was going to grime,
innit? It was
innit?
the time in between, you know.
See, to me, they could have been doing grime. Whatever they was doing in there, it was like stay over there with that.
I would imagine. I don't know because I don't know what events was going on, but the event.
That's how we saw it at the time. Nonsense.
It's like coming with the lyrics, isn't it?
Yeah. That's mine. You know that.
I feel like that's a big part of what evolved grime to be grime because people started actually writing lyrics in that. Because before it used to be like big in the ball, big in the ball, big in the ball.
But that was still UK garage, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm saying, you know, like.
But yeah, 100%.
The change from it, and before you just be a bad MC if you was like.
A lot of people do say like them man were influenced. Like a lot of the UK rap people, I see even a couple of your interviews like, like Heartless Crew, Bushkin. Obviously, people from Islington.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
This podcast is about showing lineages where people, what bloodline you've trickled down from. So you're gonna hear certain names repetitively.
Yeah.
You know them ones. You either come through that class, you came through that angle. You understand?
To me, what like we went past that ages ago, but I'll add that into mine as well. They'll definitely like the Heartless Crew, and just being from Islington, and that's why I laugh like people say there was nothing going on in Islington when you got Heartless Crew, when you got Miss Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? Before Mud Family, there's a guy called Mr. Dexter who's from Islington. Yeah, he's a producer. He was in the UK rap group, UK hip hop group called the Brotherhood. They was out like in the 80s or something. These men were signed to Virgin, you know. So it's not like they did bits. It's just not out. It wasn't in an era where maybe.
Where things were documented,
you're only
seeing just had to see it on the TV.
It would have been on TV, but we're kids. We're not. We didn't have access. You know so like the next era of when it become like Izzy rappers and that, they don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? But them man been about, but they know Mr. Dynamite and they know Heartless
access to that. We didn't know about that, fam. We was just about tuning into Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah, trust.
You know them ones like we didn't know about that. It was Top of the Pops or that. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know about these other like ventures of people. Like you know what I'm saying? Unless they went to your school or something, and you knew, and then even then you might not get to see.
No, there's that though. There's that for me because Miss Dynamite and Carla went to my school, so. Man,
so kind
so
of
like,
like
I was
up
like,
on
I'm
what
like,
they're
you know
doing.
what I'm saying? So I'm up on like Miss Dynamite. Man was up on it before she had the records and all
get
of
what
that.
I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
man.
then like with us rappers, you know what I'm saying that goes back to the story at the start. It was me, Big Ben, and Carla and a couple other man that was the only man doing hip hop with rapping in the school, and everyone.
Imagine you're just saying that now.
Yeah.
It's lucky Big Ben said that in his one already.
Yeah, he said it already. There you go.
But like, it all ties in. You know what I'm saying?
Like, ties in. But to me, the funny thing is, I won't go into this story deep. But Big Ben was like, he was like the piece that connected everybody, because he was like the best rapper. You know what I'm saying? Even to now, I say he's one of the best ever. Yeah. But like even in school, he was in a group with me. We were in a group FLIP. It was called Flip the Script at the time, and which we're still in now. You know what I'm saying? But then him and Akala started a group. It was separate. Him and Akala and someone else. So there's two groups. And them man kind of didn't like that. Ben's in the I didn't care. I was like, I'll do it to go. But them man was on a competitive thing. Like, no, we want to battle you. So me and Akala used to battle at school. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would tell all the man. Then we like put like little posters around, and they let us do it.
But how was he rapping then? Was he like hitting man up with better knowledge then?
No. But even when he came out, he was like someone but he was kind of on a street level as well. They're saying he's standing on top of like a police car in his first video, and it's a bit road like the first thing he done. So now he was hitting that stuff when he was rapping. He was always about that. He was just like mad intelligent, and he was doing his maths GCSE early and all of that. Like I remember all of that happening. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him talk about it, but. When we was battling, he was trying to diss man. He was going around school, man's going around school trying to chat to everyone, get information. I wish I had tapes of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We did it a couple of times.
So, cuz, what's your biggest collaboration?
So we ended up touching on some of these, innit? So obviously I've got weird ones. I got some.
I can put in the description.
Yeah. I got weird ones that have never come out, like where someone's asked me to feature on a record and it's already got someone on it. I got a record with Akon on it that's never come out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Is that out for us?
No, it's not out. I'm saying where a next rapper asked me to do a verse on a tune and Akon's doing the hook. I've gone to that rapper a bunch of times, like, let me have that. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, no, I'm going to do something with it one day. He's not even rapping no more, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that one you'll probably never hear. But I guess the Dappy one, which I've mentioned, which was a weird one because it's out there, you can hear it, and it got some radio spins at the time.
What's it called?
It's called Prove My Love. Showing Proof production thing again. Like the thing is, I was not allowed to release that song because he's signed to whoever he's signed to, he's doing N-dubs and all of that. So he just done the song for man. And then we was going to do a video even, and he was like, I kept calling him to do the video, and he was like, he's touring, he's doing all, he was super famous sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, he was like, call me every Friday, because Fridays usually I got a bit. So he goes, call me every Friday, because I'm gonna be busy enough for them, because I'm gonna probably book something in. But I'm gonna forget. But one of them Fridays I'm gonna go, let's go, and we're just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought, I'm not doing that. I should have probably done it. I was going to call you every Friday, bro. With the same no bare times. I was like,
man, we're ignorant them times.
Love for him. But so I put it out. I just put it, and then I sat on it for too long because I'm like, I'm not really getting an angle where I can really release this, and they weren't trying to let him work with no one, So I put that out. And it just didn't do what it should have done, but it's a big collab. There's a couple of them actually. Me and him got a couple of songs, but that's like the main one. And then I guess there's a Charlie Slough as well, because Charlie Slough was rapping in this era we're talking about on this podcast. Charlie Slough was rapping. So it's one album he made, and it's kind of good. Like, it's kind of a good album.
He gave me a CD, one time outside Jump Off.
Yeah. Of course.
Camden Lock.
That
was the song.
Because the Jump Off.
And then I went home and saw, oh shit, he's on Channel U. I didn't know who he was at the time.
Yeah, the Camden song and all that. But that's the early stuff of Charlie Stuff. He made this album called The Black Book, and he got bare UK rappers on it, bare of that kind of bare that UK hip hop earlier scene, because that was still kind of the main scene at the time. And he used to do grime and do. See, he's another one who fitted into a lot of these different pockets, but. Yeah, I like that. I like the song I got on Charlie Slough's album. It's like, because his album's not, because he's not. It's not.
What's that one called?
It's called It's called Loyalty.
It's out there, yeah.
And you can find it on YouTube. That's me, Charlie Sloth, and Tabernacle. Yeah. It's a good tune, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a good album, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But it's not on Spotify and that because he's now he's gone into that world. He's like, everyone's gonna forget about the other thing he did.
People don't even know he rapped because
he was hard though, you know. I can't lie. He had certain bits where he was hard.
I don't think we even cared at the time neither. I just remember that I just rated his hustle.
Yeah,
like, oh shit, we're going into Jump Off. So we've come to Jump Off for music, girls. And he's come, but we rap as well at the time.
Yeah, of course.
But he's come with a box of CDs and he's given out free CDs to everyone.
But them man manage him, innit? The promoters of Jump Off are his managers still to this day.
Okay, so I thought he was just passing through, really. Probably did that.
No, he might have been, bro. Don't get me wrong, he might have been. Because that might have been when they started managing him. You know what I'm saying? Because it was around that time they did start managing him. He probably started going to the event and built a relationship with them around then. And they used to manage Sway at that time as well. Yeah.
Okay, now that's mad. Crazy going back, innit?
That was it though, innit? Charlie Sloth, Dappy. I was trying to think features. Oh yeah, I got one other feature. That's what I wanted to mention. I got there's some mad features that people put me on songs, but I got one song with like Joel Ortiz, Ross Cars, Chris Rivers, Big Pun's son. Yeah, it's out. It's out. It's just got bare, and it's got bare UK rappers on it. Scorsese. I can't even remember Genesis Elijah, but it's like bare American and British rappers on one.
What's that called?
I can't even remember the name of the song. You know, that's mad. I think it might be called The Cypher. Something like that. It might be called. But it's an artist called British Kayne. Yeah, it's an artist called British Kayne.
Brits and Kayne.
Britizen, like British, like British citizen, kind of British Kayne.
Okay.
And he's kind of connected with like Sway and the Cypher productions as well. But yeah, it was on his album. It's out there somewhere. I tried to look for it yesterday though, but I feel like he's taking it off his Spotify as well because he tried to put out a new album with Boom. But I'll find the link and send it to you. So.
Yeah, please do that. Alright, so Cuz, what's your top 5?
My top 5?
Yeah.
UK, like now?
Yeah, UK. I'd say
all
now.
Time.
Yeah,
we just go
all time.
All time. See,
people, usually have people they just don't want to ever take out.
Yeah, there'll be people I don't ever want to take out. But mine has like if you.
My team's still got people.
Now mine's got a couple.
My whole team's still got the people from there. There's no one else that can't get on.
I'll be honest, my team's changed. Cause I've watched like a lot of people are stuck in their era and they don't like what's come after. I stay loving what's going on, and I don't even think it's fair to put some of these new rappers against some of the old rappers. And people were going to cuss me saying this in the comments. I think the new rappers is mad. The new rappers have done things.
It's almost like you should do two then, isn't it? Realistically, isn't it? Do your then, and then do your now.
So that's why. But there's still, to me, SKINNYMAN stays in the now. Yeah, I might be quite biased and personal, but to me, that album that he done, and I base my top 5. If I do my American, I a lot of the time base it on their output and their albums. What have you really built? Yeah, and he's only got one album, but he still stays in my top 5.
His name's still mentioned
because it's like I don't. It's difficult to touch that album. You know what I'm saying? But some people have. I don't know. It might be a bit obvious, but I think Giggs is definitely there for his catalogue and what he's done for the game. And I think as a rapper, his wordplay is mad. Some people from that other world don't get it because he raps slow and he's kind of chilled. But his his syllables and all of that, and his stuff he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Definitely J Hus. I just think J Hus is the best. I don't think those 2 albums he's made. I don't think any UK rapper has made 2 albums back to back as well made as that. And like Stormzy maybe, but I don't gel with the music as much. Like they're made to the same quality. Like those 2 back-to-back albums, they're very high quality albums.
I get what you're saying.
But J Hus is the one for me. I guess it's going to be mad personal and biased, but I guess Big Ben is just still in there. You know what I'm saying? And I have to not count it on catalogue so much, other than the personal. Like he has a catalogue. You know what I'm saying? Of amazing projects, but of that era.
And what he's saying.
And what he's saying, he's just the best, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what though? Yeah. I guess the other one I usually say is Skepta. It's another obvious one as well. I know it's Graham, but I just think I said he was the best for me out of Graham when it was just Graham, and then what he's done since is just mad. I think I regularly go back and watch that Westwood Skepta freestyle. Just when I want to get into it, just mad. Let me just see someone really. And certain times, man, are like wanting to do their freestyle thing. I tell them go and watch that. And unless you're trying to do it, you know what I'm saying, just allow it. You know what I'm saying, just the energy in it is just mad.
Yeah.
And I think Dappy, man. I think Dappy don't come
that
out.
Might be 6.
No, because I said Big Ben, because I put Big Ben in there.
But it's cool, man.
Yeah,
Because, man,
it would be 6.
There's people that will argue, you know what I'm saying? You probably go away from here and say, oh shit, why didn't I say him as well?
Yeah, no, but that, no, I have thought about this, but it's because I forgot Skepta in my head. I started looking for someone, and I was going to put Big Ben in there because I'm looking for someone, and to me, he is the best. But yeah, I guess Skepta, Dappy, Jay Huss, Giggs, SKINNYMAN is my top
Big
5.
Ben.
You know what I'm saying? And Big Ben is as well. You know what I'm saying? As Big Ben, honourable mention.
Yeah.
And even Dappy is not for catalogue as well. I just think he's like as much as the pop thing and all of that. I just think rapping, even just rapping, I think he's cold.
Singing.
He's just the guy, like I'm saying. And I think it's a shame some of the
people don't mention him when they're putting him. See, now you just mentioned him.
Yeah.
He's gonna go in my verses because he's a man that I know that like his performance will kill me. You know what I'm saying?
Like he's got something that just
rapping.
Same with Drake. You know that man says something about Drake. Oh, Drake, yeah, he makes these hits. He can do this. He can do that. But if you listen to Drake can rap. You know what I'm saying? You can strip it back and just let man rap. He's cold. And the same with Dappy. And sometimes I wish he would just strip it back and just. I like all of that too. But sometimes I do just wish he would just strip it back and just do a rap thing.
Yeah.
Because and he does every now and then for a song. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't make that project.
Tarzan's about when he brings the
Tarzan.
Just a rap.
Yeah. I like the intro. Again, the intros. The intro to his main, like his first album, is probably one of my favorite songs of his, and he's literally sitting in his block. You know what I'm saying? Where he grew up, which you know what I'm saying? I hadn't, you know what I'm saying? Man ain't seen him around there for a long time, and he's come back there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like seeing him in his block, and he's just rapping up, and he even cussed Boris Johnson on it. This was before man was prime minister, and I was like, yo, that's what I want to hear from you, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right, message on that.
Yeah.
All right, because before we wrap this one up here, we're going to end it with what's new, what's next.
So I ain't been focused on putting out music for a long time, to be honest, and I've just been doing the journalism stuff. But I have got a music project coming up, and I'm going to continue doing the journalism stuff. So me and Big Ben got a radio show on pyroradio.com. That's a show where we're trying to put new people on to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Because I was doing the magazine stuff where sometimes I was doing a big name, and then sometimes someone will come to me and go, "Can you interview this artist?" It's a rapper called Ruby Hayes. I don't know if you know where she's from, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard of Ruby Hayes.
So someone come to me like, "Oh, can you do an interview with Ruby Hayes for one of the magazines?" And I was just like, with the magazines, they kind of bring me who I'm not really in a position to go, I want to put a new artist on a thing. But I was like, that's what I used to do on Pyro though. So it made me say, I need to bring that show back because I need that place to bring people. So we did the Ruby Hayes show the other day. And we're going to continue doing that. So that's what's current and what's next. But as far as music, I got a project called Social Justice Warrior. I'm even wearing the merch now, that SJW on there. So I got merch from it and that. And it's a kind of like socially conscious rap project, which I haven't really done so much for a long time, just because I got so much known for talking about social issues on all these platforms that I was like, I ain't put it together with the music, which is what I'm originally known for. So I've got these songs, which they're kind of like, you know, I learned to write a status on Facebook or on Twitter that would wind people up and make people respond and get them triggered, as they say, yeah. So I said, I want to make 4 songs that do that. Like on a social issue that make them want to respond and go, I want to say something about what you're saying. So that's an EP. That's how
many tracks? 4 tracks.
4 tracks. It's probably the shortest EP I've done. Yeah. But it's and I got funding for it from an organisation called Help Musicians UK. And I guess this is something just to say as well for artists of our era, of any era, to go and look that company up and things like that, because there's some money out there to do things. So they've given me a budget to say, there, boom. I almost wasn't, because I'm trying to do things that make money and all of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't that focused on just music. But now that I got this funding to do this project, it put me in a position to say, okay, I can put a budget into this. I can do it properly. It's going to come out, and then I'm going to get a budget for the album version. So that's watch out for that, man. Social Justice Warrior.
Okay, man. That sounds good, interesting, man. Look forward to seeing that, fam.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. You know what, cuz this one here, I didn't know as much about you as I've learnt today.
Yeah, man.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, trust.
But I feel like this one was a sick one. I'm not gonna lie, because I was proper fully engaged with you. Like you was dropping some gems on them today.
Love, man.
Yeah, man, cuz. But like, yeah, I feel like we should wrap this one up. You get me?
Big up, man.
Big up for you coming down, cuz.
Bro, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
And again, I love the idea. You know what I'm saying? And the window you're putting.
Yeah, this is
display.
like. Yeah, but cuz I'm learning stuff, I'm hearing things, so like I'm in a happy space even doing this, cuz yeah, man, this is good shit. You get me?
Big.
But like, yeah, I didn't even say this at the beginning, but like, yeah, big up GCP, big up Consume London, no invite. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy HUN Tizzy. Yeah, this is the Golden Era UK Rap Podcast with
Nova Flip, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna wrap it up today. Like, big up everyone. Until next time.
Full of burning rage. I'll make the younger be the star, no burning K. You get rolled on, and they ain't spraying links. I'm trying to make a drink, and I don't mean lemonade. I'm talking about the payment for the phone call that I just made. For the bitter slate movements every day. You know everyone's got a motive, fam. All after the prize. Reality check, one thing to remember. Actually, everybody's got an agenda. Some won't believe in your passion, some want you to pattern. Some won't be happy if it happens. Reality check, one thing to remember. Actually, everybody's got an agenda. Some won't believe in your passion, some want you to pattern. Some won't be happy if it happens.